6A quarterfinal playoff matchup tonight in Arizona high school football as the Pinnacle Pioneers host the Red Mountain Mountain Lions, and a great matchup in hand tonight. Along with Chris Andriotis, I'm Zach Warhack. A little bit of barking in the pregame at midfield. Both of these teams locked and loaded, ready to go. Just an audio broadcast only for you folks tonight. Don't be confused if you don't see any video. Let's talk about these two teams, Chris. First off, bounce back wins for both teams. Red Mountain get back in the win column for the first time in 5 weeks as they take down Mountain View 20-14 in the Battle of Brown Road. Defense really clicking there. Champ Jennings with a huge game.
Yeah, he was the catalyst for sure last week, and played a lot of man coverage, and I expect we'll see more of that tonight. Brought a lot of different kinds of pressures, and the defense was lights out last week.
On the other side of things were Pinnacle, coached by Dana Zupke. It was 2 straight losses for them, but tough opponents. They fell to Centennial and then Saguaro, but a bounce-back win in the first round for them last week against Desert Ridge with a 35-18 victory in that game. A lot of things done right offensively, but the defense stout for this team as well.
Yeah, these two teams match up really well. There's not a game breaker that's head and shoulders above anybody else, and I think it's going to come down to the play of the two quarterbacks tonight.
It's funny because both coaches said the exact same thing that you just mentioned when I spoke with them in the pregame. Both Zupke as well as Kyle Enders for Red Mountain said, I see a lot of us in them, of what we do similarly defensively on the ball, the athletes that we have, the plays that we make, the schemes that we run, and the concepts. So that's an advantage for the offenses because they see a lot of the defensive looks in practice.
Yes, and these are two defensive-minded head coaches. Coach Zupke's been here for a long time. He does a really good job. Both defenses who are well-coached, play aggressive, and it's going to be a heck of a night, man. I'm excited.
12th seeded Red Mountain set to kick off. Kai Evans back to do so. Red Mountain in the white jerseys, red pants, kicking from left to right, and Pinnacle in the gray jerseys and the navy blue pants at home. And a nice sight and setting in this stadium. Evans gets things underway. This one flies out to the 2, and the kick is muffed. So an opportunity early, but a touchback called as Luke Hoover popped that one back into the end zone, recovered it, and a touchback to get things started for this Pinnacle offense.
Yeah, and I think we'll see if the defense picks up where they left off last week. I'm expecting to see some pressure, especially with a talented quarterback on Pinnacle's side. Want to give him different looks and keep him off balance throughout.
You mentioned the talented Wyatt Horton, just a junior. A lot of players actually will be returning next season for this Pinnacle team, but Horton does it both on the ground and through the air. Thrown for close to 2,000 yards on the season, and he's ran for an additional 500, and he's behind a great offensive line. Ball spotted on the left hash to start the drive for Horton and company. Horton gives a couple claps, and that's the snap count for this Pinnacle team. Takes it out of the gun, throws to the far side of the field, and it's handled by his favorite target, McLean Richards, brought down just shy of the 30-yard line.
And that was just a stick concept there. It's a horizontal stretch on the flat defender to the tight end there in the slot there. It's pretty simple read, good way to get your quarterback in rhythm early.
There is a flag on the near side of the field right by the line of scrimmage, and it's a hold against Pinnacle. So despite the completion to McLean Richards, it's going backwards thanks to a penalty from the offensive line. And a good start defensively, you could say, for Red Mountain, getting a break there on the penalty.
I like the hold call on the first play. That's just the official setting the tone, what they're going to tolerate, what they're going to call. It varies from week to week.
1st and 20 now in the pistol for Wyatt Horton. Defensive line shifts, and they get another jump, a false start. Lucas Wilson was on the edge there, moving from right to left, shifting with the other in that 3-man front. It was him and Seth Barron along with Junior Nixon. And that's something that Red Mountain have done all season long defensively. With a 3-man front, they set those shifts and those stunts to create movement, and sometimes, like you see here, causes confusion at half the distance to the goal penalty.
They call it a stem, and there are times where they do it on a cadence themselves where someone will say go, and sometimes that'll make an offensive lineman jump.
Pinnacle now backs against the wall. Castaneda showing pressure from the left side, and he brings it. It's a quarterback keeper with Horton, and he gets leveled in the second. And Jennings there was in on the stop, along with Logan Haney.
Yeah, Jennings brought the wood on that one. And that is the downside of the running quarterback, is that eventually someone's going to hit you. And those guys aren't built to take those kind of hits play after play like a running back might be.
And Jennings was throwing his weight around last week against Mountain View as well. 7 tackles, including a sack to seal the game at the end of that one. Pinnacle go to the pistol again on 2nd and 15, and the pressure comes and gets there. Jamison Wade puts the final stamp down on Wyatt Horton, but there were 3 players to get there. Seth Barron caused the initial pressure, and then Jamison Wade gets his first credited sack of the season.
Great play. There was a number of guys came loose there. Once Coach Enders figures out what your pass protection is, they're going to dial up a blitz to take advantage of it just about each and every time. So great job there, forcing the 3rd and long now.
And pardon me, that's sack number 5 on the season for Wade, as it was a whole group of Red Mountain defenders to get there, and the home crowd silenced the visitors on their feet. Pressure in the back of the end zone. Lucas Wilson chases, and Jennings gets a hand on the pass out to the far side of the field towards Keenan Johnson. That one fell short at the 20, and the special teams unit comes on for Pinnacle, and they will have their backs against the wall with an attempted punt here and a good defensive stand for Red Mountain on the first drive of the game.
And always the debate with special teams coaches, do you want to come after this punt? Do you risk running into the kicker and giving them a first down on a roughing? Or do you just sit back, you know you're going to get the ball inside the 50?
The ball spotted on the left hash at the 8-yard line. Mauder the only one to come in. He came close to blocking it.
He did.
And it forced a short punt that dribbles out across the 40 and is downed at the 42. So we talked about the battle between the 2 offenses will be the difference maker. Good starting field position for Red Mountain already in Pinnacle territory.
And we'll see if they can capitalize on this great field position. Defense was lights out on that first drive. I would imagine we'll see them return to the run game as they did last week.
Just 2:18 killed from that clock in the opening drive for Pinnacle. And now a response as Red Mountain look to keep things going. As we mentioned in the open, picked up their first win in 5 weeks against Mountain View last week. When these playoffs come around, it's just about being hot at the right time. Lopez in the pistol to start things off in motion early. Skidmore goes left to right in the formation, and Savoy in the backfield along with Lopez. Lopez goes play action on first down, and a deep shot taken. Gunnar Moore over the top. He juggles it in the end zone and unable to come down with it. It was good coverage in the secondary by Dylan Frick, but Gunnar Moore had a hand on it, just bobbled it and lost it.
That was almost, I think it was a money concept. It was a post with a dig. And I think he had Bodie Wagner on the dig route. But still very close. And he put it in his hands. The safety was just over the top of it there.
Something that Kyle Enders spoke with me about earlier tonight is the fact that he thinks there's some shots that are opened up for this offense, and they try one there on first down. Second down they give to Savoy, and he keeps running heavy out across the 30. And a first down pickup for Zay Savoy, and a player injured out across the 40 for Pinnacle. And if my eyes are not tricking me, that is the best defensive player for Pinnacle. Dean Vincent grabbing his knee.
Yeah, you don't like to see that. It's not a good sign for the Pioneers.
It looks like there was actually a hidden 6 there on the ground. So Vincent number 6, this looks like 66. So you never want to see somebody go down, but for Pinnacle, better to not be Dean Vincent, the sack leader on your team and second in sacks in the state of Arizona.
Great surge there from the offensive line. I'm looking at the replay. Sorry that you guys can't see it, but I'll try to describe it to you. They pulled the guard and tackle around. The guard and the tight end, and they both had to run about 3 yards before they made contact with the defender. And Savoy got a full head of steam was able to pick up the first down, if I'm not mistaken.
Pinnacle training staff still tending to the injured player on the field. And never something you like to see, especially ever in a game, but early when both teams are ready to go, it kind of slows things down. And especially when you lose one of your starters, if it is the end of the game for him, in such a critical game as both teams looking to advance in the playoffs in a quarterfinal matchup tonight.
Yeah, it's tough, and especially if he's a senior. You know, there's nothing worse than not being able to finish out what could be your last game. So our heart goes out to him for sure.
As Pinnacle continue to look down on the field, we'll step away and take a break here on RMTV and return with you shortly. Hayden Franklin was the injured player down for Pinnacle. He's helped up and he's walking back to the Pinnacle sideline on the far side of the field under his own power, so a good sight to see there.
And I would imagine, based on how that last run play went, that we'll probably see a little bit more Savoy coming out here.
1st and 10 for Red Mountain at the Pinnacle 28, ball right in the center of the field, and Savoy goes under center. Preston Heap as well as Cannon Skidmore go in motion from left to right. Handoff to the right side, and Savoy swallowed up immediately. A gang tackle that time around from the Pinnacle defense. Last one in on the play is Cooper King.
Yeah, and they tried to run the same counter play again, and Pinnacle was wise with the defensive end squeezed, and there was really no hole for the back to run through there.
The strength of both these defenses lie in the front seven. It truly does. And the middle core for Red Mountain extremely strong, as well as the same for Pinnacle. You talk about Cooper King making the tackle that time around, number 76 on the year. Lopez out of the gun, fakes a handoff on a jet sweep motion to Wagner. Lopez rolls to his right and throws it out of the bounds to the Red Mountain sideline. And that brings up 3rd down and 8.
Yeah, it was another boot concept. Nobody really getting open. He could have probably thrown to the flat right off the bat, but I think he was looking downfield, and by the time he came back to it, it was covered up.
3rd down and 8 from the 26, 8:21 to go in the first quarter, scoreless, and the first drive for Red Mountain. Savoy has the give, and he rushes forward and keeps on working. Immediately met in the second level by Spencer Halverson, and it's close to a first down, but Mark just shy right around the 21.
And it looks like they're going to go.
4th down and 2, and no hesitation from the Red Mountain offense. They stay on the field, and Lopez and the offensive line check the wristbands in the gun. Lopez chatting to Savoy off to his right. And there's the cadence from Lopez. He gets a defensive player to jump over, and it's encroachment against Pinnacle, and that brings a first down for Red Mountain. So a good hard count that time by Lopez to draw him off.
Yeah, he was getting off the ball too. He knocked the center over. And he may have hammed it up a little bit as well, but that was a nice job.
Frankie Gleish, the guilty party for Pinnacle, up the middle. And like you mentioned, he just blew through the line and was about to be unevaded, but due to the penalty. So 1st down and 10, Red Mountain in the red zone at the 15. Lopez motions Bigler from right to left. Lopez takes the snap out of the gun, looking to pass, rolls out to his right. Lopez has room to work with, and he runs to the far sideline, pushed out of bounds by Spencer Halverson at the 7-yard line.
The flag on the play. I don't know if it was an offensive lineman downfield or if it was a hold on the back end on the defense.
Our officials converge right around the 10 to have a discussion, and make the call. And meanwhile, Lopez comes over to the near sideline to chat things over on what the next play is in the sequence with Brian McDaniel.
They're still chatting about it. That's going to be on Pinnacle.
Yeah, Red Mountain moving forward, and that makes the drive even that much closer to the end zone. Ball now at the 3-yard line on the right hash for Red Mountain as they decide to huddle up.
Yeah, it was a defensive holding call there in pass coverage.
7:11 left in the first quarter, and Red Mountain with an opportunity to deliver the opening blow, and they go with the Wildcat. Savoy in the gun, Lopez at the bottom of the field. Savoy takes the direct snap, surges forward, and he's across and into the end zone. Touchdown, Isaiah Savoy, 6-0 Red Mountain.
And you couldn't have scripted a better start on both sides of the ball for the Mountain Lions tonight. Big stop, force the punt, and come drive right down the field and score a touchdown. It's just what you want in a playoff game, especially on the road.
It's been a stellar 4 weeks now for Zay Savoy, and what an addition he has been to this Red Mountain team. You run through all the stats. He went for 166 yards against Mountain View last week. The week prior, 153, then 136 on the ground and a touchdown against Hamilton. And there's some early movement on the extra point attempt from Kai Evans.
I think Pinnacle's getting a little chippy, trying to get off and jump the snap count there.
And Evans will have an opportunity to go with it again. But this ground game has been electric for Red Mountain in the back half of the season.
And the crazy thing about Savoy's games the last few weeks, he hasn't had any big 40 or 50-yard runs. This has been a workman 150, 160, getting 4, 5, 8, 10 yards on carries.
And he was the workhorse back last week, 35 attempts on the ground for Savoy.
Yeah, that's a lot of carries for a tailback in a playoff game, that's for sure.
Evans continues to be great on the season as he puts the extra point through. So 7:07 left in the first. Red Mountain on the road take the lead off the back of Isaiah Savoy, 7-0 on RMTV. Coming out of the break, Evans with another touchback on the kickoff. So 7:06 to go in the first, and Pinnacle will take the field for their second drive of the game. And on the first one, it was just penalties to back them up, and they never really had an opportunity to get going.
It's really difficult, especially to start a game when you get behind the sticks and you're, 1st and 20, and it's hard as a play caller even to just call the play that's going to get you something back. You can't try to get it all back at one play. Then you start chasing it, and what happens is you end up punting.
Pinnacle on the right hash, set up in the pistol. And Horton sends Pena in motion, and it's a give this time up the middle to Mason Hughes, his first carry of the evening. And it's good to see him involved. Didn't get a touch on the opening drive, and he's a stellar back, and he's been really good on the ground. The senior, 5'10", 180. Has 13 touchdowns on the ground this season and 3 games over 100 yards on the ground.
And very important for Pinnacle to come out and establish a run on this drive. You definitely don't want to go 3 and out and make your defense come right back out again. So a sustained drive is what they need here.
Back-to-back gives as Hughes goes to the right side of the field, down the right sideline now, and a first down pickup for Mason Hughes. And that's the balanced attack from Pinnacle that we've seen all season long. They like to set it up with the run and then either get Wyatt Horton out of the pocket or set something up in play action.
Yeah, they do a lot of play action and RPOs with him, and they're not afraid to run him a little bit as well. He's a pretty good athlete. Much harder to defend when your quarterback is mobile.
Josh Pinder and Jace Pena at the bottom of the field. And McLean Richards all the way at the top, single wide receiver, Mason Hughes in the backfield. Out of the pistol, the give is to Hughes, and he goes right up the middle and gets out to the 45.
And so they've found something here. They've come out with 3 runs and have been pushing the line of scrimmage and reestablishing it right now. So the Red Mountain defensive line is going to have to firm up here.
Chris Castaneda subs out on defense for Red Mountain. Jacob Redwing in to replace him. Anthony Gamble also on the field at the bottom of the formation, the right side corner. Haney and Krieger both in the secondary.
And that's one of the things you talk about when you have a team that wants to bring pressure like Red Mountain does. Oh, boy.
Champ Jennings has an act for staying in the second level and in the backfield. Gets through again and another stop on an immediate handoff to Hughes, and it goes nowhere.
Yeah, he was untouched through the line of scrimmage there. You get him a full head of steam and get him going without having to run through a block, he's going to blow up whatever he finds in the backfield, that's for sure.
The linebackers have been so good at creating pressure for Red Mountain on the season. 3rd down and 7, right side of the field. This time Pinnacle out of the gun. 4 wide receivers on the field, 2 at the bottom, 2 at the top of the formation. Horton scrambles to the right side, throws a pump fake, and then lets it fly over the top. A broken coverage into the secondary. Krieger can't make the tackle. Finally chased down as Krieger got it on the second attempt as well as Red Wing, but not before damage was done. Josh Pinder just got over the top and gets all the way down to the 15.
And that's what we were talking about earlier when you have a quarterback that is a playmaker. You know, the play's never dead. He looked like he was going to run, and he just pulled up almost out of bounds and found a receiver downfield, gets a big chunk play.
A gain of 39 on the play, and with 4:31 left in the first quarter and Pinnacle trailing by 7, have an opportunity to go in and equalize things.
And that is the downside of bringing pressure, is you put your DBs on an island and they have to cover. In that sense, when you have the quarterback extending the play, that's a long time to cover a guy downfield.
And now things backing up, so the chains move forward, but a penalty called, and that backs Pinnacle up. All the way out now to the 32.
Yeah, I didn't see what that penalty was.
It was a loss of 15, so personal foul would be the thought. Something may have happened up at the line. Couldn't see it from our vantage point. There's the fake handoff, and Horton takes off to the left side of the field and has a lot of room. Horton finds the sideline on the left side, lunges for the pylon, and he's marked just short down at the 1. So one of those RPOs that you talk about, and Horton escapes for a pickup of 31. And I think what the previous penalty was, it was something that happened after the catch and the reception where it was good, but it brought the sticks back because it was 1st down and 10 there.
That looked like it was a simple zone read right there.
So initially the official spots him down at the 1, but now they converge and back it up to the 4-yard line. Pinnacle in the red zone with 4:06 to go. Horton in the pistol. He has Pinder and Pena at the left side of the formation. Play action. Horton tries to escape pressure, shakes a tackle from Barron, and Barron comes back in. A floated pass and a broken coverage into the end zone. Touchdown, late hit. Jennings came in late and flags fly. But Pinnacle in for 6.
Yeah, that was one of those, I don't even know what you would call it, almost like a shovel pass. He was going down and saw a receiver and just kind of overhand flicked it to the guy, and he caught it.
It was Mason Hughes out of the backfield who got into the second level and just slipped coverage and made the touchdown reception.
Oh, he just kind of slung it from his hip as he was falling forward. And he was wide open.
Seth Barron had 2 or 3 good cracks at a sack, but that just talks about the elusiveness of Wyatt Horton to be able to extend the play and find an open receiver, because when the DBs have to cover for that long, somebody can slip behind.
And his legs have been the difference on this drive. They kept the play alive to throw downfield, and again, extended the play, found a receiver in the back of the end zone there.
There was a flag there that's probably going to be on the kickoff is where it would be, because I think it was a personal foul against Champ Jennings, as well after Hughes caught the touchdown, Jennings came in for the hit.
And I think the choice goes to Pinnacle. I think the coach can decide if he wants to, put the ball, half the distance for a 2-point attempt. No reason to do it on an extra point.
And we're still waiting for the scoreboard of Pinnacle to put the touchdown up unless the officials call something offsetting, but the scoreboard still reads 7-0 for Red Mountain, and they haven't put the touchdown on the screen. Now they call the touchdown and then the personal foul against Red Mountain. So it took a while for them to get all that sorted out. I'm not sure what the discussion was. Regardless, pending an extra point, Pinnacle have the opportunity to tie things up.
There was a little bit of a frustration hit there as well. Jennings came back and threw a little forearm into him.
Cooper King in to attempt the extra point. Low snap, but a good hold on the recovery, and King puts it up and through. So 3:55 left in the first. We are knotted up at 7, and this one's shaping up to be a good game. There was all the extracurricular beforehand. Now both teams taking it out on the field. We'll be back on RMTV with the rest of the first quarter. Both running backs in this game responsible for the touchdowns, as it was Zay Savoy to get the scoring started out of the Wildcat, and then Mason Hughes on a touchdown reception from 3 yards out to tie things up for Pinnacle. Kick goes through the end zone for a touchback. And that's something that you would expect after the 15-yard penalty.
Yeah, I would hope so.
So Red Mountain start the drive from the 20. Ball spotted dead center for Simon Lopez and company. 3 receivers set to the right side of the formation. Bigler, Wagner, and Moore. Zay Savoy to the right of Lopez in the backfield. Bigler now goes in motion in the backfield, swings around, and Lopez has a second to pass it, gets brought down, and a sack in the backfield for Pinnacle, and the defense gets going for them.
And that's a shame too, because Bodie Wagner was starting to break loose. They did what they call an orbit motion, where Bigler came back around and ran a swing, and both of the flat players' eyes were there, and Wagner was able to slip by. He just didn't have time to get the ball off, unfortunately.
Ian Garcia able to get home and register the sack, his second of the season for Pinnacle, and now it's 2nd and 15. Heap set up as a blocker in the pistol formation, Savoy behind Lopez, and now they move Heap to the left side of the formation.
Yeah, Yeah, they were running out of time on the play clock. They had to take a timeout.
So a little bit of confusion there from the offense of Red Mountain, but you want to make sure that you have everything sorted out correctly. And it's really just been the pressure from this Pinnacle front seven that have created problems all season long, and they've generated a lot of turnovers from doing so. 13 interceptions for this team on the season, but if you go back and watch the tape, there haven't been a lot of them with just corners or safety on an island making a play. It was quarterbacks being forced to make mistakes from that front seven of Pinnacle.
Yeah, they play a 3-deep coverage with a lot of guys underneath, similar to what Highland was running, or still is running, I guess you could say. It's built to defend the spread. You know, you have a lot of guys that are linebacker types, DB types. Really the way to go at a team like this, a defense like this, is to get in multiple tight ends and create a lot of gaps and make them have to come up and play in the box.
3:11 on the clock coming out of the timeout. 2nd and 15 for Red Mountain as they get things sorted out. Dean Vincent showing pressure on the left side of the defense. Comes in, and Wagner gets the pass out of the backfield to the left side of the field and gets out across the 25.
That was a great play design there. They're running buck sweep with both guards pull to the right, full action that way, and then a little swing pass back to Wagner away from the run action.
It's fun to see the game planning, defense versus offense, that Dana Zupke does with his team, because Dean Vincent is one of the best pass rushers in the state of Arizona, and on that previous play, he had him set up as a spy for Simon Lopez.
Yeah, I would imagine we'll see a lot of that over the course of this game.
Empty set now as Savoy motions to the left side, 3 wide receivers and Heap to the right. Lopez runs to his right, escapes pressure, and Wagner able to come up with a reception on the near sideline and gets out across the 45, upended at the 49, and Lopez threaded the needle between 2 defenders with that pass. Looked like it could have been a pick six, but B-Dubs comes up with a big gain.
Wagner with a great catch. It literally went through the hands of the DB that was covering him, and he snagged it and turned it into a big play.
Up tempo this time for Red Mountain. They go right back to Wagner on the right side of the formation as he continues to pick up positive yardage.
Yeah, they're feeding B-Dubs here, and I think it's a great idea. He's very explosive, and what it does is it forces your defense now to come out and commit. They went to a double stack on both sides, so now they have to walk 2 defenders out there to cover it. It's going to open things up on the inside.
1:35 left in the first quarter. Red Mountain across midfield at the 46 of Pinnacle. Zay Savoy gets the carry to the right side, and he's upended by Dominic Polito.
There was a shoelace tackle there. It was the same play they had thrown to Wagner on the swing, but they actually gave the buck sweep this time, and he was a shoelace tackle. If he had broken that one, he was going to have a lot of running room.
3rd and 2, Red Mountain need to achieve the 41 of Pinnacle to pick up a first down. Lopez in the gun with Savoy to his left. Savoy gets the give to the right side, and he is stuffed immediately by Spencer Halverson.
Yeah, they just couldn't get anything going there. They filled the holes, and he just couldn't get any kind of forward progress.
A lot of talent on that defensive front for Pinnacle. Jack Franklin kind of opened things up in the run lane, and he allowed Halverson to get free and make the tackle. So the special teams unit out onto the field for Red Mountain. Mauder sets up around his own 44 to punt. 20 seconds left in the first quarter, and just a second on the play clock. They get the snap off, and Mauder goes end over end, and a good kick here as it takes a high hop, and it's down right around the 13, so a good punt that time from Carson Mauder.
And one thing just to put in your head, I was talking to Coach Barge, a special teams coordinator, earlier this week, and he said Pinnacle has more fake punts and kicks than any team he's seen in the last 10 years. So they have a lot of razzle-dazzle in their special teams.
And now more than ever is the time to pull it out in the 6A quarterfinals as these teams battling to push along to the semis. And it'll be Brophy or Castile who they face in the winner of that other quarterfinal matchup. We'll try and get updates throughout tonight's game based on how that one is going. So many good correspondents covering Arizona high school football out tonight. And we'll await to get those updates. But right now, Pinnacle have it in the gun at the left hash with 7 seconds left in the first quarter at their own 12. Horton takes a shot far sideline, and he's able to connect with Pena, and he has room to work with down the far sideline, pushed out around his own 44, but a huge play on first down with the connection between Horton and Pena.
Yeah, that was Chris Castaneda was in coverage there. I mean, he did a great job in coverage. He stayed with him. He was in phase. The quarterback just put a perfect touch on it and dropped right over the receiver's outside shoulder. There's nothing you can really do.
All tied up at 7s as we approach the start of the second quarter, and Pinnacle have the ball 1st and 10 from their own 42. We'll be back with all the action on RMTV. One big play so far on this drive for Pinnacle as the team switch side, and really Wyatt Horton is super talented and almost overachieves for his size. Listed at 6 feet, but a lot of people call him smaller than that, only 170 pounds. On that previous throw, he goes all the way across the field to the far sideline, and it just shows the arm talent in that intermediate game.
He is a solid high school quarterback, and excuse me, they're going to go as far as he can take it with his arm and legs.
He gives it to Hughes this time, and he's able to escape and break off a big run across midfield out of bounds at the 42. And Mason Hughes just able to get through the initial attempted tackle and break free for a first down.
And you've seen Pinnacle settle in since that first drive. They've found some things in the run game that they like. They've made some nice plays on off the scrambling quarterback and throwing it downfield, so I think they're going to stay with that formula.
Pinnacle now driving down the field left to right after they switch sides from the first quarter, and a pistol set for Horton and Hughes. Play action, and Horton tucks it, takes off, and he gets brought down by Junior Nixon. And that's a big open field tackle that time around by Nixon, and not the guy you would expect to make an open field tackle against a fast quarterback putting the shake and bake on.
It's all about angles. It's all angles.
Up tempo now for Pinnacle, under 11:30 in the second. 4 wide receiver set, 2 at the bottom, 2 at the top. Jennings backs off after showing pressure, and a quick out route is converted to Keenan Johnson. And that moves the chains again. Another first down, and Pinnacle, the offense clicking now.
And to the casual observer, a speed out, throw complete, not very impressive. But that was a 40-yard throw on a rope. This kid is very talented at the quarterback position.
Mason Hughes checks out of the game now for Pinnacle. And Horton hands it off to Halverson, who comes in to replace Hughes. And it's been all positive yardage this drive for Pinnacle.
Yeah, it looked like some of the defenders there got tangled up on the edge. And it's always interesting, we saw him set the tone with the hold call early. They're going to let these guys play, as they should. It's a playoff game. No ticky-tack fouls so far.
After just a one-play breather, Hughes comes back into the game, but it's a two-back set with him and Halverson. Hughes gets the give this time around. Mauder unable to make the tackle in the backfield, but great tracking by Mauder. He hits the deck, gets back up, back into the play, and tackles Hughes from behind.
Very important to stop the backs from getting north-south right away. If you can make them go sideways and wait for your teammates to rally, you have a good chance of stopping the run.
2nd and 5, ball at the Red Mountain 26. Horton back in the pistol. 3 wide receivers to his right. Richards, Pinder, and Pena. Out on an island on the left side, Keenan Johnson. Horton escapes the blitz from Jamison Wade for a second, but Wade tracks him down towards the left side of the field, and that's sack number 2 of the night for Jamison Wade.
Yeah, that was a great job redirecting and staying with it. You know, they try to coach you when you're going to make those plays in the backfield. Do not leave your feet. Just run through, and that's what he did. He was able to redirect and trip him up there before he could get loose.
Jamison Wade came into the game tonight ranked 21st in the state of Arizona in sacks. Picks up a big one, and it's now 4th down and 11. Pinnacle keep the offense on the field. Horton directing traffic from the left hash out of the gun. Horton, 5-step drop, lets it fly to the right side of the field. Jump ball up in the end zone, caught. Josh Pinder into the end zone, and a huge shot and a touchdown on 4th and 11 for Pinnacle.
Coach Ennis brought the pressure there. They almost got home, and he just launched one up to his guy, and he was able to run under it. And unfortunately, Haney wasn't able to impede him there.
There was the battle in the secondary that time around, a little bit of the hand play that you typically see on those deep shots, but Pinder was able to create separation and catch his 5th touchdown of the season.
And it just looked like Isaac Haney misjudged the trajectory of the ball and undercut it, and it just went over him, and they were in for an easy touchdown.
Yeah, when they were jostling for possession, it looked like he just wasn't able to get his head turned. And a nice 30-yard touchdown for Pinnacle as they take the lead for the first time tonight at home. 8:44 left in the first half, 14-7, Pinnacle on top. Cooper King comes in with the kickoff from the 40, and it travels high and deep through the end zone and out to the 20-yard line. Goes the Red Mountain offense, and an opportunity to respond here. It was a good first drive of the game for them as they took the lead 7-0 with good field position from the 42-yard line. And on that previous drive, the Pinnacle defense has woken up, and the front 7 has begun to get it done.
And they were able to get some success getting the ball to Wagner and get him out in space. We'll see if they go back to here. I think they'd love to get Savoy going in the run game as well.
Moore at the right side of the screen, top of the formation for the wide receivers. Bigler just inside him, and Wagner alone on the left side of the formation. Lopez back to pass, hit as he throws. Intended target was Bigler, unable to get it as the pressure was brought from Dean Vincent, and he got a quarterback hit on Lopez.
Yeah, he was hit just as he was throwing. He's lucky he didn't fumble it. Going to have to do a better job protecting him if they're going to try to throw the ball downfield.
2nd down and 10 now, 8:40 to go in the first half, and a 14-7 lead for Pinnacle. Vincent set up on the right side of the formation, comes off the edge, and a screen set up to Wagner on the left side of the field. Wagner breaks free and goes out of bounds after picking up the first down.
Seems like B-Dubs has been the catalyst thus far tonight. A little screen pass, get him out in the open again, and he's able to accelerate and get the first down.
He certainly has been the game plan thus far, and you see that he's kind of that possession receiver for this Red Mountain offense, and Gunnar Moore is the vertical threat. Out of the pistol, the give to Savoy to the right side. It doesn't get much, maybe just back to the line of scrimmage or a yard or two.
Yeah, it's been tough sledding since that opening drive. So they're going to have to go back to the drawing board and try to find different ways to get him involved in the run game.
A pickup of 2 for Savoy puts the ball at the 34, 2nd down and 8. Lopez goes with the hard count, and the flag flies. And it's the second time tonight that he's drawn off the Pinnacle front 7.
And when you have a team that wants to get after the quarterback and get upfield and penetrate, the cadence, your snap count is your best weapon. And so I think we're going to see a lot more hard counts and freeze counts, just trying to slow down that pass rush a little bit and buy some time.
Official just now making the call, and the offensive front for Red Mountain walk down the field as the ball gets spotted at the 39.
So 2nd and short. Midfield feels like a shot down to me.
Lopez set up on the left side to take the snap. 3 wide receiver set out of the gun, Savoy to his right. Lopez back to pass, steps up in the pocket, takes the deep shot to Gunnar Moore. Moore unable to reach it as the pass falls right around the 16.
And the crowd is upset with some of the rough play there on the coverage. Didn't see until the end. It looked like they were both kind of pushing and shoving. But again, they went max protection, and they took a shot downfield. I like the call here. Now it's 3rd and 3. They got to get the first down here to keep driving.
It's been a good matchup between Glenn and Moore tonight. Savoy gets the carry and bursts forward up the middle. He's taken down by a shoulder tackle at the ankles by Polito.
Yeah, and I love they have a little wham block there for Heap. He comes back into the line of scrimmage. Another great way to neutralize an upfield penetrator is to trap him. So nobody blocks him, and he runs upfield, and all of a sudden he's getting hit in the side by a tight end.
Confidence in the run game after they'd been stalemated for a couple of plays. And they go to Savoy on the 3rd down, and he picks up the first. It looked like towards the end of that play, Savoy was talking to the official in the backfield, and they swap out the balls. So an interesting look there.
Maybe it was wet, slippery.
Yeah, they get it set up at the left hash now from the Red Mountain 46-yard line. 6:50 to go as the clock continues to tick. Lopez gives to Savoy, and he rushes to the right side. Savoy gets into the 2nd level and initiates contact, breaks a tackle from Halverson, and it takes a gang of Pinnacle players to bring him down.
And I've noticed, and this is not just in this game, in the last few weeks, the officials are really they're being very slow to blow the runner dead when he's in the grasp. And it's concerning to me because it's a little bit of a safety issue. I mean, he has 6 guys driving him back, and Savoy, of course, doesn't want to go down. It seems like an opportunity for someone to get hurt.
Dangerous not only for safety, but for ball security. When you get stood up for that long, you don't want to lose it as a fumble. Halfway point has been reached in this first half as the clock ticks under 6. Give to Savoy, left side of the formation, and he picks up another first down and continues to work on this drive. Another tackle made by Dominic Polito.
And I think that's the first time tonight we've seen him get out in space on the edge. I believe it was Vincent there who he broke the tackle, gave him a little shimmy, and turned it into a first down.
Ball now down at the left hash for Lopez out of the pistol. The give right back to Savoy up the middle. And a quick tackle made by a company of Pinnacle players. Franklin was the first one in, but it was Troy Robinson to finish it.
Yeah, it looked like the guy came from the backside there. The tough part when you start pulling linemen, it's great to get big guys moving forward and getting some momentum. but if you don't secure the backside where they pulled from, a savvy defensive lineman can slip in there and make the play in the backfield. That's what happened there.
Robinson calls for a sub after making the tackle. Terrence Hobson checks in for him. 2nd down and 9 from the Pinnacle 41. Lopez out of the gun, low snap, and he fakes the give to Savoy, and Lopez spins out of a tackle down the near sideline. A 1st down for Simon Lopez. Both these quarterbacks can use the legs efficiently, and Lopez does so there.
And I will say this to all of you listening at home. He had the ball securely, 4 points of contact. The ball was not being held like a loaf of bread.
Well, we saw the play last week against Mountain View where it was, a drive to ice the game for Red Mountain. Lopez reached for the extra yardage to get the touchdown, fumbled it through the end zone, and it was a touchback which gave Mountain View the chance. Quick screen, left side to Bodie Wagner, and he continues to work against this Pinnacle defense with the pitch and catch and the short yardage situation.
And I think what they're doing too with these short little screen passes and swings is now they're forcing that corner to come up and play more aggressively, and that's going to open things up downfield.
6 catches now for Wagner as he continues to be utilized. Handoff up the middle to Savoy, and he picks up another 1st down. Red zone territory for Red Mountain as they approach the 10. A couple of players stayed down a little bit late after the play. And it's Weston Hancock a little bit slow to get up for Red Mountain, but he's able to get his feet.
And this is the point of the field where, as we've said many a time, it gets tough because it's a lot less field that the defense has to cover. This is where you have to punch it in these situations. 4 minutes left in the half.
1st down and 10 from the 12 for Red Mountain. Under 4 minutes in the first half remain. Savoy gets the carry and goes across the 10.
And they faked the fly sweep to Bodie Wagner and gave it to Savoy going downhill. I like the play call there.
I think Pinnacle takes a timeout to chat things over defensively. And a good response drive being put together right now by Red Mountain as they have a chance to tie things back up after having the initial lead 7-0. It was Pinnacle to respond, but the ground game has been really effective this drive.
It has. They've gotten Savoy going, and then in combination with the screens and quick throws to Wagner, they seem to have found something that's working, and I think they're going to stick with it here. The big thing here is, we've talked about it before, is winning those middle 8. If you're able to score in the last 4 minutes, hold the other team from scoring, and then they get the ball to start the second half, that could be quite a swing, momentum-wise and points-wise.
Great point to bring up there that Red Mountain did kick off to start the game. So they will receive in the second half, and they've been killing clock on this drive as both teams take the field after the timeout. Red Mountain can still pick up a 1st down if they reach the 2-yard line. For now, it's 2nd and 7 from the 9. Ball spotted on the left hash.
And this is a situation where we've seen Lopez get involved in the run game on naked bootlegs and that sort of thing.
Lopez under center this time around, and he fakes to Savoy, throws it wide open. Preston Heap, his 1st touchdown of the season.
And he had him open right away, and he almost didn't believe it. He double pumped it, and then he's like, okay, he is wide open. And threw it, and what a great play call there. We'll call that a tight end pop pass.
Preston Heap is electric on the sidelines right now with his teammates after receiving his 1st touchdown on the year. It's good to see, as he's been really efficient in the passing game all season, but just hasn't gotten his break into the end zone. Extra point from Evans up and through to tie things up, and although there may be a discrepancy in the seeding, Red Mountain at 12, Pinnacle at 4, these two teams keeping right in line with one another. 14 all, 3:33 to go in the first half on RMTV. A great responsive drive for Red Mountain as they were working through the air, on the ground, and eventually the drive was capped off by a touchdown pass to Preston Heap. And the kickoff goes and the touchback is called. And it's just got to be such a cool thing. We know Todd Heap is on the sidelines every week here with Red Mountain, watching both of his kids play. Kyle, quarterback, Preston, following dad's footsteps as a tight end, and a good NFL career for Todd. But it just has to be a weight off the shoulders for Preston to get that first touchdown of the season, nonetheless, in a quarterfinal playoff matchup.
Couldn't have come at a better time. That's exciting for the young man for sure.
And now it's time to see what the Pinnacle offense can do and how they come back, and if they can put together a drive with 3:33 to go here in the first half.
And this is a situation where in the past, even in the last few weeks, Red Mountain has given up a big play here at the end of the half, and the team's gotten into scoring position. See if they can find a way to hold them out here.
Hughes gets the carry across left side of the field, and he's brought down at the left hash across the 25 after a pickup of about 6.
And they're playing conservatively here. They don't want to go 3 and out and give Red Mountain the ball back either.
Both offenses have seemed to have found little cracks in the defense. Red Mountain tried to step in and respond, but a 6-yard gain on first down. Hughes gets the carry, same play this time just to the right side, and he goes down right around the line to gain at the 30. We'll see if the officials bring the chains forward if he spots him at the 29.
No, it looks like they're going to mark him short.
So 3rd down and 1 from the 29 for Pinnacle. The ball goes down right in the middle of the field, and the ground game has worked 9 yards so far with 2:37 to go in the second quarter. And it's a pistol look now with Hughes in the backfield and Horton ready to take the snap. Horton gives to Hughes. Jennings brings him down behind the line of scrimmage.
And now, do you take a timeout here if you're Kyle Enders?
You would still preserve 2 minutes and 15 seconds, and he does.
Yep.
So a timeout taken. The clock got down to 2:11. And now it's decisions for everyone because Kyle Enders decides to take the timeout, but Jennings made the tackle right back at the line of scrimmage, so it would be 4th and 1. Does Dana Zupke have the guts to make the call to go for it on 4th down, or do you just want to punt it away and not give points?
It looked like he was running his punt team out there. I think in this situation, tie game, I think you punt and make them drive the field in the last 2 minutes. You know, that's pretty risky in a game that you're tied.
The momentum right now sits on the Red Mountain sideline after a big touchdown drive to respond and tie the game up, and then your defense to force a possible 3 and out and get the ball back. You still have a timeout left if you're Red Mountain, so if you can go up-tempo, get a drive together. Kai Evans has been successful on the season.
And remember what I said earlier, they have a lot of fake punts. They could have a Runge special dialed up here. We wouldn't even know it. So I think Coach Enders probably wanted to review that with the defense as well. In addition to saying, watch the football and don't jump off sides. They're going to go.
They keep the offense on the field. The ball towards the right hash. Horton comes under center. Is it just a hard count attempt, or do they actually snap it? He backs up now and looks towards the sideline, and Pinnacle take a timeout. So the hard count was thrown there. Red Mountain stay disciplined.
And it's worth a try. You know, and you see a lot of teams do it these days. And at some point, I don't think you're fooling anybody unless you're going to really line up and go for it on 4th down. And, you have to eventually do that once or twice for teams to buy it.
Lopez on the side of Red Mountain has already drawn Pinnacle off twice.
Yeah. So it's definitely worth a shot here. I think we'll see the punt team come out and punt the ball away. Or will they?
The atmosphere is just so fun when playoff football comes around. You know, every week means something to these kids, and you see the rivalries throughout the season. But when everyone has that common goal of reaching the championship, and for the side of Pinnacle, you want to get back and get your revenge. They lost in the championship game to Highland last season in 6A. And for Red Mountain, it's been a struggle through the season, but they're clicking and in form at the right time.
And you know, one of those things, I mean, we'll have to see how this game goes over the second half. But it seems like the stars were aligning here for the Mountain Lions in a lot of different ways. So we'll see if they can keep this thing rolling for another week.
Punt unit comes out, and it's a real punt. No fake punt, none of that razzle-dazzle, as you call it. And it gets out across the 30, spotted at the 27. And it's the 2-minute drill now. 2:04 to go in the first half for Red Mountain as Lopez and company retake the field.
And we'll see what they've got dialed up here. I was just going to say, I felt like Castaneda had a chance to run under that ball and make a play on it, but he thought better of it at the end.
I think it can become something where you don't want to be the one to make the mistake, and it's not like the punt is going to pin you inside your own 10. You still have decent field position. And if you're Red Mountain, I don't think you necessarily abandon the run game right
now. No. You have one timeout, but you do stop the clock on a first down or going out of bounds.
Lopez out of the gun. He sends Wagner in motion around him. Throws behind the line to Wagner. It's a double pass. Wagner deep shot to Gunnar Moore. And he had the end zone, but Wagner overthrows him by a couple yards. What a concept.
With Gunnar Moore's speed, I would have thought it impossible to overthrow him on a deep ball. But he did. He just let it swing maybe a second early. The little pass. I love it. It's a great time to call it, too.
You have to feel like Moore is going to get his. He's been overthrown 3 times in this game and just unable to come up with it. Lopez with that forward handoff to Savoy to the left side. Savoy has the left sideline out across the 45.
Yeah, that was a little, looked like a Statue of Liberty play there where Lopez had his hand up like he was throwing the screen and then gave it to the back coming underneath. That was a great little sleight of hand.
Brian McDaniel bringing out all the stops with this offensive play calling. Lopez rolling to his right. Escapes pressure for a second and throws it back over the middle. A flag comes down right where Lopez was taken down. And we'll wait to see what the call is. Lopez clapping his hands as if it's going to be against Pinnacle, and he's pointing that way.
It was the old sprint draw, reach around handoff. That scares the bejesus out of me.
Lopez gave Savoy the old reach around.
Yeah. So we got a roughing. Is that what it looks like here?
I believe so. Face mask. So a face mask is a call as Lopez was escaping pressure. And still a minute and 42 to go on this drive. Knotted up at 14, but Red Mountain with the opportunity to pull out and take their second lead of the game. They have the ball at Pinnacle's 39.
I mean, a touchdown here, even a field goal, would be huge to go in with a lead at halftime.
And they get the ball back to start the second.
Exactly. You could have quite a swing of points there if they're able to finish this drive.
Ball spotted just inside the left hash. Gunnar Moore, bottom of the formation, all alone. And Bigler goes in motion right to left to join Moore. Now Bodie Wagner singled out at the right side. Lopez struggles with the snap out of the gun and now rolling to his right. Lopez throws it out of bounds, and he's brought down, and another flag comes in late. I'm not sure if this will be grounding.
Yeah, I don't think his throw went past the line of scrimmage. It looked like he threw it short, and that's the rule. The ball has to at least make it back for the line of scrimmage.
That's a tough mistake to make because it looked like he had plenty of room to get it upfield down the sideline.
And the killer is that's a loss of down as well.
And the officials start to walk things back, and Red Mountain and Pinnacle both move that way as well from left to right. So the grounding call negates the previous gain, and now Red Mountain have the ball right at midfield on the right hash at the 50-yard line.
And again, the challenge, it's second and, 25. So you don't have to get it all back on one play. Try to get to a manageable third down. I'm sure you might be in 2 down here. So just a small chunk.
1:33 to go in the first half. Lopez out of the gun. Drops back, and the screen set up for Savoy in the middle, and that was met immediately in a quick tackle by Asher Friedlander.
Yeah, he read that. And Friedlander, not the most speedy linebacker. He's definitely an inside backer plugger type. And he just went right across his field of view here, and he just locked on to Savoy and made a great play.
That was a dangerous pass. Lopez let it go, and it was a little loopy, and the tackle was met the same time that Savoy was making the reception.
Those screens are very intricate, and the timing has to be just right. If the lineman gets there too early or too late, the play doesn't work. And they're going to take a timeout here. May have some more razzle-dazzle coming up here.
Yeah, 3rd and 21 will be the down and distance upcoming. And Red Mountain spend their last time out of the first half. And actually, after a gain of 1 on the screen, it makes it 3rd and 20 instead. So that changes everything, right?
Yeah.
That 1 yard.
Yeah.
They've gone almost with 2 looks at the trick play here on this drive. We saw the double pass and then that little forward handoff to Savoy were 2 that they pulled out. And it's really been a good stand from Pinnacle defensively here to not allow any points towards the end of the half up to this point. But still a play to go on this drive from Red Mountain coming out of the timeout.
And again, the penalties seem to be the drive killers thus far for both offenses. When they're unable to overcome those penalties is when it gets dicey. And they might just run the ball here and force Pinnacle to use their last time out and then punt it.
We resume from the timeout. Ball at the 49, right at the center of the field. Pinnacle secondary back deep around the 30. Lopez steps up in the pocket and scrambles, and he is spun out, and he escapes a tackle. And now Lopez works out across the 40, down around the 36, and a late flag in the secondary in the vicinity of Gunnar Moore and a couple Pinnacle defenders. Ethan Lanise back there, and he has to pull away Dominic Polito as he bumps shoulders with Moore.
I don't know if Moore was throwing a block or if somebody was getting after him late, but that came in from the back judge.
It was a really adventurous play, and it looks like Lopez was going to be brought down after the gain of only a couple, and he was able to spin out of a tackle and pick up about 12.
And it seems unsure what they're going to call here. I think
everybody having a discussion on the field. Gunnar Moore talking to the DBs, officials talking to one another, and Enders comes over to his sideline to pull Gunnar Moore away as he is continuing to jaw back and forth with Xavier Sanders, the junior DB for Pinnacle.
So it looked like a tripping call on Red Mountain, but interestingly, Pinnacle declines the penalty.
And Xavier Sanders is begging to have a flag thrown on him as he comes over to the Red Mountain sideline and makes the crying face as he puts his 2 hands up into his fists and like he's wiping the tears out of his eyes as if Red Mountain sideline are whining about something. Officials don't look at that. And 33 seconds left in the first half. Red Mountain keep the offense on the field on 4th down.
I don't worry about that kind of stuff, Zach. The karma tends to work itself out.
Flag goes deep, and I think it's going to be a delay of game as the clock hits zeros.
Now, again, I wasn't watching, But there was a lot of discussion. Did they blow it back in and restart? Because it didn't seem like they took that long to get the play out.
That's what the Red Mountain sideline are saying. They're saying the clock needed to be reset and that it never got there. So Kyle Enders comes out onto the field to chat with the officials. And he waits to see what the call is. And they call delay of game.
And, is that somebody just not paying attention, or is that a little bit of home cooking from the press box over there at Pinnacle?
This is going to be a fun second half. I know we're audio only tonight, but the chippiness continues on the field as Lucas Wilson comes out and he confronts Xavier Sanders. So we will see if something gets chippy between anybody and Xavier Sanders as he's in on the punt team, and he'll be matched up.
And they're trying to block this kick, it looks like.
Mauter able to get it off end over end, and Sanders facing contact, and Sanders continues to be in the action.
And still running his mouth as well.
And he throws down Braden Brenner, and the chippiness continues.
Yeah, again, where are the officials when he's
We'll see what happens in the second half,
sideline.
but you never want anything to get out of hand, but we'll see what's going to be let go and what will be called. And that's a storyline that will certainly unfold.
Mm-hmm.
Nice punt by Mauter.
It was a great punt. Pinned him inside the 10.
Ball spotted at the 6 of the right hash, which doesn't give Pinnacle a lot as they only have 25 seconds to get downfield. But we've seen a lot of chunk plays already from this offense.
Yeah, and that last 2 minutes there with each team had a possession, and it was much ado about nothing there to quote William Shakespeare.
Horton just takes the snap and takes a knee to get out of the first half. Things shaping up to be a beautiful second half, though. 14-14 at Pinnacle. And we're excited for what we have to come in the second half. Red Mountain will be set to receive as the two teams head to the locker room to make those adjustments. And we'll be back with you on RMTV to start the second. Just about 45 seconds until we kick off the second half on RMTV. Welcome back, everyone, to this audio broadcast alongside Chris Andriotis. I'm Zach Warhack, and Red Mountain Pinnacle. It's been a matchup tonight in the 6A quarterfinal, all tied up at 14, and Red Mountain set to return the kickoff to start the second half. But both of these teams throwing a punch and then answering right back.
Yeah, both teams came out and initially Pinnacle stumbled on their first drive, and they came back and answered after Red Mountain scored. And both defenses have gotten some stops. It's just a great playoff football game.
Wyatt Horton with 2 touchdown passes on the side of Pinnacle, a 3-yard touchdown reception by Mason Hughes, and a 30-yarder by Josh Pinder as the opening kickoff of the second half sails through the end zone. And on the side of Red Mountain, it was Zay Savoy out of the Wildcat to get things started in a 7-0 lead. And then Preston Heap with his first touchdown reception of the season. That's how we got to this point, and Red Mountain will start this second half at the 20-yard line. And you have to think that they look to get the run game back and going in this second half.
I would imagine they would. Savoy is, again, that kind of back that just gets better as he gets more carries throughout the game. I think they're going to try to feed him here and see if they can get him going.
Both sidelines and crowds into it as everything relies on the next 24 minutes. Bigler and Heap go in motion from left to right. Savoy is the back. Lopez throws to Wagner on a quick screen. Gunnar Moore couldn't pick up the block on the left side of the field. And Moore comes over to the sideline, and he's favoring that left arm.
That's not a good sign.
He's holding his left wrist.
Or elbow, I can't tell.
And we'll keep an eye on him as he gets tended to by the training staff. But that screen just got back to the line of scrimmage. And 2nd down and 10 now from the left hash for Red Mountain. Lopez goes with the hard count, gets movement, but nobody touches. 2 seconds left on the play clock, and Lopez needs to snap it, and he'll take a delay of game.
That's not what you want to start off the second half, that's for sure.
And the Pinnacle sideline into it, and they've brought a lot of energy. We talked about how things got a little bit animated at the end of the first half. They continue to bring all the energy on the far side of the field, and now 2nd down and 15 for Red Mountain. Vincent on the right side of the defense brings pressure. Lopez steps up in the pocket, takes a deep shot in the direction of Wagner, and he's covered tightly by Dylan Frick.
Yeah, it looked like he was running a post there, and he laid it out for him to run all the way across the field almost. That's a tough throw to come up with. He had to run an extra 10 yards just to get under it.
And Red Mountain wanted to get off to a quick start in the second half, and they've gone backwards. 3rd and 15 from their own 15. Moore still being checked out on the sideline, so Paxton Thorstad takes his spot. Lopez rolls to his right and escapes pressure, throws over and finds B-Dubs out across the 35, and that's enough for a first down. So with the back against the wall, Simon Lopez delivers and picks up a first down.
When in doubt, throw it to Wagner. That seems to be the name of the game tonight. He's been coming up big time and time again. Just settled into the zone there and found the window. Great job.
Wagner on the left side of the formation this time. Lopez gives to the right, and Savoy has it and picks up a couple. He gets brought down towards the Pinnacle sideline. And close to 2 minutes gone here in the third quarter.
And again, they're going without a huddle here, just going off the wristband calls.
Good to see Gunnar Moore back in the game, left side of the formation. So not a major injury to that left arm. Lopez sprints out to his left. blocks in front. Lopez takes a teardrop shot over the top, batted out of bounds by Spencer Halverson.
Yeah, that was a dangerous throw right there. He just kind of jumped through it, kind of like you see some of these NFL quarterbacks do these days. But his trajectory was taking him out of bounds, so he couldn't really put a lot on it. And the Pinnacle player is the only one that had a shot at that ball. He almost picked it off.
And Lopez paid the price towards the end of the play, took a hit to deliver the throw. And it brings up 3rd down and 7 from Red Mountain's 38. Pinnacle show a lot of pressure up front. And just 5 seconds left on the play clock for Lopez. Lopez fumbles the snap after he was late to get it off, and he's sacked.
Yeah, and the check with me game is great, but your operating time has to be faster. You have to give yourselves enough time to get reset, get the call in, and they just didn't do that. I think he rushed, he felt rushed, and he didn't really control the snap, and that cost him a play there on 3rd down.
Cooper King with his 6th sack of the season. And as the Red Mountain offense comes off the field, Xavier Sanders chirps at Simon Lopez, and Lopez delivers back. So the trash talk is real. Mauder takes the snap and a high punt out across midfield. Fair catch waved for, and a good roll. Nice punt from Mauder, and it gets downed at the 22 of Pinnacle.
Yeah, that's a great job there. It gets a lucky bounce. Again, I felt like that kick returner had a chance to go under there and field that kick as well. And you think, you talk about hidden yardage. If you're able to field a punt 15 yards before it bounces, you're getting your team almost to midfield to start the drive instead of on the 21, the 22.
Mauder got close to 45 yards out of that punt, and it sets Pinnacle up with their opening drive of the second half, and they have 9:04 left on the clock in the 3rd. Red Mountain crowd now gets into it as Horton sets up in the pistol. Horton fakes the give to Hughes, and he's sacked. 3 Red Mountain defenders in on the stop, but Jamison Wade, the first one in, and he may be credited with his 3rd sack of the night.
And he has been living in the backfield all night. He's made some great plays. I think they're just going to keep bringing pressure.
It's almost as if Jamison Wade is trading weeks with Champ Jennings. He says, hey, you got all the shine last week. Yeah. Let me get on the action here, pal.
And that's the thing when you're facing a team that likes to do a lot of RPOs and play action stuff, that takes time to develop. And if there's a guy in your face right away, those things can't happen, and you have to kind of improvise.
Horton goes play action, throws to the left and finds Pinder, and he has a cavalry set up in front of him. A good screen pass that gets close to the line to gain, and I believe it will be a 1st down.
And, Pinnacle sticking with the common answer most teams do when you have a team that's blitzing and bringing pressure. Screen pass is a way to take advantage of that. Let their aggressiveness run them out of the play.
And Pinder has been extremely efficient tonight through the air. Hasn't been a favorite target on the season for Horton, but getting involved tonight. RPO, and Horton keeps it and has a lot of room down the far sideline. Jennings tracks him down and chases him out of bounds near midfield, but a big pickup from Horton.
He has some top end speed. I mean, we saw him get around the corner, and he picked up 20 yards like it was nothing.
Pinnacle quick to get back to the line as they're set up at the Red Mountain 49 now. Handoff to Hughes, the left side this time as he dives forward. Seth Barron wraps up from the backside, and Jennings drags him to the ground after a pickup of a couple.
And the other thing I'll say, that's a blown defensive assignment there. If you have 2 guys tackling the tailback, it's kind of like option rules. One guy's supposed to get the QB, and the other one's supposed to get the tailback. They both took the tailback, and that's why the quarterback was able to run free.
Hughes ended up with a pickup of 3, so 2nd and 7. Horton out of the pistol, dead center of the field. Far sideline, and Pinder with another reception, tackled at the 40. Haney with the bring down, but Pinder has been involved since the get-go of this one.
Yeah, he's having himself a night. He had the touchdown earlier, if I recall. Third and 1 here.
6:40 left in the third quarter, and just short of the sticks. Horton sends Pena in motion. He fakes it, then gives to Hughes, and he has enough for the first down up the middle. So Pinnacle doing a good job putting a drive together as well as managing the clock in Red Mountain territory. And the biggest thing on this drive for Pinnacle, no penalties.
Yep, thus far that's been the name of the game. Red Mountain showing pressure here.
Out of the gun this time, Horton sets up a screen, and it's a little reverse play snuffed out well by Red Mountain. I believe Mauder might have been on the stop, or Haney on the far side of the field.
They call that the hook and ladder, the hook and lateral. You throw the quick out to the receiver. They set it up like a screen, and then he flips it to the running back running by down the sideline.
And Mauder created the pressure. Logan Haney with the finishing blow to get the stop. So a trick play, not too successful for Pinnacle. 2nd down and 9 from the left hash. 2 backs alongside Horton, and he waits and pulls it out of Hughes' chest at the last second, and Wade has the initial contact, and it looks like Horton will be just shy of the sticks again.
Yeah, that was a power read where they run a sweep action in the backfield, and then they run a power play with a pulling guard for the quarterback. So if he pulls it, he's got a lead block in front of him. It was a nice play for him right there.
3rd and 3 now from the Red Mountain 31. Same look, 2 backs, 1 to the left, 1 to the right of Horton. This time he fakes and goes back up the middle, and it looks like he has enough to get it down at the 29.
They just ran the same play going the other way.
Well, he'd be a yard short if it's the 29, if that's the spot. And
I think
it
it's
is.
4th and 1.
So 4th and 1 from the 29, and they keep the offense on the field. 2 back set again. He keeps it, and the defense makes the stop. Who else but Jamison Wade?
And the old school football coach in me would say, it's 4th and 1. Why are you in shotgun? Why are you lining up 4 yards further away from the line to gain? I know a lot of teams do it now, I know. But there's just something about that doesn't compute to me.
They love to run the ground game out of the gun, and you feel like, I don't know if you can get a head start or the blocks are set up, but great penetration from Jamison Wade as he continues to have a great night on the defensive side of the ball to make the turnover on downs. And while Pinnacle was driving, we stay knotted up at 14.
It's a great stop and a pivotal one as well.
Pitch play to Savoy, left side for Red Mountain, and Savoy blows through a tackle and gets out across the 40, brought down at the 43.
That's a big pickup right there. Picked up about 14, and like you said, the pitch play where he's able to plant his foot and get north-south instead of trying to run to the sideline like they were doing in weeks past.
Under 4 minutes now in the third quarter as Red Mountain take this second opportunity of the third quarter. This time Lopez under center, Savoy in the backfield, Gunnar Moore on the left side of the formation by himself. Wagner in motion right to left, pitch right side, Savoy tackled near the line of scrimmage. Might have fell forward for a gain of 2.
Yeah, they tried to come back to the same play again. 2nd and 9 here.
We've seen that a couple times tonight from both teams where they come back with the same exact play but just flip it.
Yep. And a lot of times it's the matchup is the reason why it's working. You know, it's one defensive end they're able to get reached, or they're not able to block the other one. It's really a game of matchups.
5 seconds left on the play clock. Mauter in the backfield along with Savoy and Lopez. Savoy gets the carry this time close to the 50, and that brings up 3rd down and short.
And they're just staying on schedule. I like what I'm seeing right now. It's 3rd and 5 at midfield.
And that was kind of a funny play because Red Mountain, they basically stole it from Pinnacle. They put Mauter and Savoy in the backfield. It was that 2-back look, and it was the read option for Lopez, and he decided to give it to Savoy. Now the ball at the 48 of Red Mountain, 3rd and 5, 2:30 to go. Lopez sends Wagner in motion left to right, fakes the give to him. Lopez has room to run, but instead he takes a shot downfield and can't connect with Bigler. Lopez has had an opportunity at a lot of deep shots tonight.
And again, he's thrown across his body, running to the left sideline, trying to throw back. It's a tough throw to make for anybody. And again, he kind of missed in the same way. He just led him a little bit too much, just like we saw with Wagner on the previous drive.
The play that time around, it almost looked like Lopez had enough room to just run forward and pick up the 1st down to move the chains, but tried to take the deep shot and go for it all.
Yeah, sometimes quarterbacks are just greedy. I'm kidding. But sometimes, they do look downfield and they feel like they have a guy open. You obviously want to go and make the big play for your team.
Mauter with another good punt. He is having himself a night. He puts it inside the 5, all the way down at the 1. What a punt from Carson Mauter.
I guarantee you that Pinnacle returner is getting chewed out right now because you have to feel that. You have to feel it.
Wow. 51 yards off the leg of Carson Mauter. And he does his job on defense, but tonight in the special teams game as the punter for this Red Mountain team, getting it done, he's put him inside the 10, the 20, and now inside the 5 at the 1.
And do you start thinking here, if you're Kyle Enders, do you try to bring some pressure and get a safety? Do you play it conservative and just try to hold them, and we'll see what they're going to do here.
The pressure has come back to bite them a couple times tonight. Horton in the gun, set up in his own end zone. Pressure comes, doesn't get home, and the deep shot is going to sail too far. Jennings was the closest to Horton, and he forced the quick throw.
And I think he just threw that one away.
Yes.
It looked like they were trying to run a post from the outside receiver there, and he just chucked it where nobody could get to it.
2 minutes left in the 3rd quarter, still tied at 14 in this 6A quarterfinal matchup between the 4th seed Pinnacle and the 12th seed Red Mountain. Red Mountain crowd on their feet. The band has traveled with them and making noise as well. Empty set this time around for Horton. Horton goes quick, out route, and he connects. And that gets him out of the back against the wall situation.
Yeah, that was interesting because Jennings was not blocked on that play. He walked up late on the left defensive edge there, and nobody blocked him. He just couldn't get, the ball came out so fast he just couldn't get home.
It's 3rd and 2 now following the reception from Mason Hughes, the running back who was set up in the slot that time around, but he retakes his position in the backfield here on 3rd. And movement. That's the 2nd time tonight that the Red Mountain movement on the defensive line has gotten Pinnacle to move.
And that was a full stem also. The entire front shifted. And the Pinnacle offensive line could not hold their water, as they say.
It's a good time to bring it out. A loss of 5 on the penalty brings up 3rd and 7. Empty set. Horton takes a shot down the deep side of the field, and he connects. Jailbroken coverage, and all the way out to the Red Mountain 35. his favorite target, Keenan Johnson.
And I think, that's one of those situations where, being well coached almost works to your disadvantage because he's playing the sticks, because he thinks they're going to try to get something just around the yard marker for the first down, and instead they go deep and ends up being a big play.
And Keenan Johnson, one of the favorites, maybe not the favorite on this team, but a big play to step up there. Handoff now to Hughes. He gets tripped up. And when Pinnacle had their backs against the wall, they set up the deep shot. McLean Richards is that leading receiver of this team. He's been held quiet tonight, and it's the ancillary guys in Pinder and Johnson that time around who get going.
And what you're seeing also is, the byproduct of playing man and bringing pressure is you have guys on an island and they have to cover.
Under a minute now in the third quarter. Pinnacle have it at the 34 of Red Mountain. Handoff to Hughes. He shuffles in the backfield, and he's swallowed up by the linebacking core and the front three of Red Mountain. They'll have to take a snap here before the end of the third. There's about a 5-second differential between the play clock and the game clock, and very quickly another 3rd down and 7 forced by the Red Mountain defense.
And I would imagine this would be a 2-down situation here anyway.
Pinnacle go back to the empty set and a timeout taken by Kyle Enders to talk things over on a critical play in this game.
And that's a good use of the timeout. Get your guys lined up in the way, most teams have maybe 2 empty checks. And the thing about empty is it gets you out of what you had called initially, and now you just have to get into that check. So maybe they want to change that up. I believe the empty play, they were an empty on that big gainer that they threw earlier in the drive. So I think they want to make sure they get all their ducks in a row on this one.
There's been a lot of success in the chunk play tonight for Pinnacle. They've had a few big runs ripped off by Hughes as well as Horton from the quarterback position. And then those passes, we've seen a long screen set up to Pinder, the 30-yard touchdown reception to him as well. And now that huge gainer from Keenan Johnson.
And I think it's kind of been a philosophical shift defensively. Instead of being, play coverage and don't let anybody get behind you and just count on them making a mistake on a long drive, they're more aggressive, and they're bringing more blitzes, and they're playing more man coverage. So it's going to give teams opportunities to get big plays.
Horton stays empty set coming out of the timeout. 3 receivers to his left, 2 to his right. Deep shot down the right side of the field, and that one floats through the end zone, and it brings up a 4th and 7. You mentioned that it could be 4-down territory for Pinnacle, and as of now, they keep the offense out there.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to punt at this point. Your offense has played well.
They stay empty, 3 to the right, 2 to the left. Horton hard counts and looks back to the sideline with 10 on the play clock. Horton takes the snap out of the gun, shuffles away from pressure. Barron tracking him down, and Mauder has him chased all the way back to his own 40.
Oh my goodness.
Steps up in the pocket and incomplete, but there was a wave of Red Mountain defenders all the way back who had Horton running 20 yards behind the original line of scrimmage, and he was almost able to skate up the near sideline and get a pass off.
That was scary. And again, you're in man coverage. I don't know anybody that can cover somebody for 10 seconds. That's a lot of time that he bought.
It's shocking to not see a flag on the play, but also to not see a completion after such a long scramble. But he didn't have his eyes upfield for half of it because he was running from the Red Mountain 34 where the snap started all the way back to his own 40.
And now we have, both defenses have made big stops here. Which offense is going to find a way to get back on the board?
This will be the last play of the third quarter as Lopez out of the gun gives to Savoy, and Savoy gets out to the 40. And he picks up about 7, and that will take us to the break as we approach the fourth quarter. No points in the second half, 14 all. We're set up for a great ending here on RMTV. "12 minutes decide the season for both these teams as Red Mountain have a 2nd down and 4 from their own 40. Pinnacle look to stand tall defensively in this 6A quarterfinal matchup. Lopez shifts Wagner from right to left across the formation and gives to Savoy up the middle, and he's tackled immediately by Cole Thornton.
Yeah, they went to the buck sweep there. Again, that play they've been running quite a bit with the swing pass to Wagner as an option. Staying on schedule, it's 3rd and 2.
And Savoy continues to get positive yardage as it was a gain of 2 there. And an opportunity to convert on 3rd down. And a false start on the right side of the line will back things up for Red Mountain. Tough time to make a mistake there and move things in the wrong direction.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those things, and it's, I think it was Hancock.
Yeah, it was Hancock on the interior there.
Who's quite the scholar from what I understand, and it's surprising. He's a pretty level-headed player.
3rd and 7 now. Lopez shifts Savoy out of the backfield to his right. Empty set for Lopez. Has to escape pressure, and he cannot. Sack made by Jack Franklin, and both defenses continue to hold strong.
Yeah, that was a tough sequence right there because they didn't really have any short breaking routes. Everyone was 10 yards plus, and he just didn't have time to find somebody to get open there.
Another Mauter punt upcoming with 10:30 to go in the fourth quarter. And we'll see if we get a return this time around. Set back is McLean Richards. Mauter has it blocked! There's the difference maker of a play as Spencer Halverson got through and makes the punt block. Pinnacle will recover and have it already inside the red zone. And the ball gets spotted at the 8, and what a break for the special teams unit of Pinnacle.
And that's another metric other than turnovers is blocking a kick ups your chance of winning to like 80% in a football game.
So it wasn't either of the offenses to get through and make a difference, but the special teams unit has set up the Pinnacle offense very nicely from the 8. 1st and goal.
Now a tall order for the Mountain Lion defense is to get a stop here.
Horton gives to Hughes, and he's swallowed immediately by Lucas Wilson.
And it looks like Pinnacle's bringing in another offensive lineman. You know, they're just changing guys out.
And while they do that, Seth Barron comes out of the game for Red Mountain. It was a loss of 1 on 1st down following the give to Hughes. pistol look this time, and now Horton shifts Hughes to his right out of the gun. Sprint out to the right for Horton. Horton continues to go forward, and he gets brought down around the 5.
Yeah, they tracked him down. He had a mind to go and score himself. He got tripped up there. And the interesting thing here would be if they can hold him out and hold him to a field goal, that would be a win for the defense here.
At this stage of the game, you have to think Pinnacle definitely taking the attempt at 3, if it comes to that.
If it comes to that, yes.
3rd and goal from the 5. Horton brings the play clock down to 5. Takes the snap at 3. Horton, far side, out route, converted. Touchdown Pinnacle to take the lead.
Yeah, just a little quick speed out there to the pylon, and they're able to convert for the touchdown.
Keenan Johnson has the reception. He had the big play to get Pinnacle out from their own end zone on the previous drive, and this time around allows Pinnacle to take the lead. Pending the extra point, it'll be a 7-point game with 8:49 to go in the 4th. Cooper King blasts this one up and through, and Pinnacle take the lead at home. The 4th quarter continues to dwindle down. The blocked punt create the chance. Pinnacle capitalized 21-14, and we'll be back after the break on RMTV. Just a 3-play drive that time around from Pinnacle, capped off by the Keenan Johnson 5-yard touchdown reception. And Red Mountain will start the drive from the 20 after the touchback. And a time for this offense to respond. They've been stuffed throughout the second half and have to get something going here.
And again, you go back to that 3rd and 2 offsides penalty. Costly mistake at a really inopportune time. So can they get something going? You know, there's not a hurry at this point. You have 9 minutes. Just run your best stuff at this point and get one in the end zone to even it.
Lopez starts out of the gun, gives to Savoy, who goes across to the left, and Savoy a lot of room and gets out across the 30. You asked for their best stuff, and they show it with Zay Savoy on 1st down.
Yeah, and that's a great setup, and I think we're going to see a lot more of that on this drive. If they can keep doing that, that's a key to success right there.
It's been a hard-fought battle in the trenches tonight, as we've seen Red Mountain kind of get an edge in the run game and then Pinnacle back them up a little bit. Savoy gets it again, same play, opposite side of the field. And he loses a yard this time around.
And you're right, there's definitely a pattern from both play callers tonight of, oh, that play worked, let's run it the other way. So maybe need to change it up a little bit here. Now they're behind the sticks, 2nd and 11.
They go to the gun, a tight formation from the receivers. In a 2-by-2 set. Lopez steps up in the pocket, and he's brought down from behind. That time it's Dean Vincent with the sack. First time we've really called his name tonight, as he's 2nd in 6A in sacks with 12.5, and that was a solo, so make it 13.5. He only trailed Elijah Rushing from SCHS. And if Rushing hasn't done anything tonight, that gives him the solo lead in the sack department. A timeout taken by Red Mountain as they spend their second of the half. And 3rd and 11 stares them in the face.
I called the game last year with Elijah Rushing. He is a big man. He's about 6'5" and looks like he should just go and line up at Alabama. He is a big defensive end, and I'm not surprised he's leading the state in sacks.
It's just a time in the game midway through the 4th quarter, edging towards late in the 4th quarter, and it's where the big players come out and make plays. Dean Vincent does it that time around.
And I would say at this point, if you're Red Mountain, you're going to straight drop Lopez. I would commit 2 guys to block him. Either keep a tight end in or chip him with a back. He's just too much for these tackles to handle right now.
Red Mountain come out of the timeout a little bit early, and now Pinnacle set to retake the field. 7:13 left on the game clock. Lopez has 3 wide receivers to his right. Savoy is also set up to his right in the backfield.
And ISO cam on Bodie Wagner here.
Sprint out, and Lopez goes down again. He's sacked. Back-to-back plays by Dean Vincent. And if he didn't already have the lead, he may have achieved it now.
Yeah, they went to a little sprint out action, and he stepped up to try to throw, and there was Vincent was waiting on him.
And now comes a time where you really need your defense to make a stop if you're Red Mountain, because the clock isn't your friend, 6:45 and ticking, and on top of that, you've already spent 2 timeouts in the second half.
Yeah, you're going to have to get a 3 and out here and hopefully get some decent field position to have a chance here.
Mauter had the last one blocked. And Pinnacle come out quick again, and he just gets that one away. It bounces at midfield, and it's swallowed up right around there by Braden Brenner. So Pinnacle looking to put a long drive together as they have the opportunity to ice the game and work forward into the semifinals, and Red Mountain looking to make a stop.
Yeah, any kind of scoring here from Pinnacle, I think, would effectively put it out of reach at this point. The way that their defense has played in the second half has been outstanding.
Pinnacle retake the field out of the pistol. And now they transition just into the shotgun. Hughes to the left, and the fake handoff on the option. Good block out in front, and that gives Horton room. And he was set up that time by Travis Gutierrez on the left side.
Yeah, the big chunk play there. 2nd and 3. They're going to have to, Coach Enders is going to have to dial something up defensively here.
Under the 6-minute mark now in the 4th quarter, and Pinnacle taking all their time in the huddle and winding the play clock down. Horton sets to take the snap with 5 seconds left and a false start. So you asked for Enders to draw something up, but that time he had something given to him.
And now and then Pinnacle gives back on a costly offside to see if Red Mountain capitalize on that and keep them get them to a 3rd and long.
2nd down and 9 now as Pinnacle hustle up to the line. Hughes to the left of Horton. Single wide receiver to the left side of the formation, 2 to the right. Hughes gets the give to the right this time, and he's held on to and brought down by Red Wing.
So now is the question, do you bring pressure and play man, thinking that your guys will get home before they can complete the pass? Or do you sit back in coverage? I'm inclined to bring pressure. You don't want the Pinnacle quarterback running around.
It almost feels like it's been a 50% success rate for Red Mountain tonight with pressure.
Yep.
We'll see what they dial up here on 3rd down and long. They bring the house. Horton steps up in the pocket, and he's held on to but escapes. Finally caught, and Jamison Wade with a big tackle to force 4th down, and that will be a sack credited to Wade as he continues to get in the backfield tonight.
Man, he is slippery. It looked like 3 different guys had him dead to rights, and he squirted out and kept running, and they get the stop here, but the clock is running here, and we're going to have to see a hurry-up version of the Red Mountain offense here to finish it out.
They'll receive the punt with about 3:40 to go. Fair catch called for by Castaneda, and 3:53 is what this team has to work with to drive down and tie the game in an attempt to force overtime.
And there's plenty of time. So when we say hurry up, it's not frantic. It's just get on the ball, and they're not going to huddle. You could still, this kid's still talking. It's unbelievable.
It's the same one. It's Xavier Sanders. He's now barking at the officials. And he finally gets up to the line to set up defensively. Lost his mouthpiece, went back to get it. He's definitely causing a little bit of discomfort in the side of Red Mountain. Lopez back to pass on 1st down, and he spits it out and finds Preston Heap on the far side of the field.
He's unable to get out of bounds, though, so the clock will continue to run.
I mean, you have to credit Xavier Sanders, though. He has no quit, and if he's on your team, it's one of those players you love. You love the trash talk, get into the opponent's head, but if you face him, it's one of those guys where you're just like, oh, brother, this dude annoying me again? 2nd down and 2 after a pickup of 8. Lopez gets brought down again, and another sack up the middle from Ian Garcia.
And it looks like there's an injured
Pinnacle player deep in the backfield. The pressure has gotten there time and time again from Pinnacle, as they do have a player face down. I can't see who it is. No numbers shown.
I just don't know if this offensive line is built for straight drop back passing. They've had success when he's on sprint out, when it's a bootleg. Straight drop against this front, it's just too many one-on-one matchups, and those pass rushers are really talented on that Pinnacle side.
It looks like Troy Robinson is the player down on the field for Pinnacle. So with 3:11 left, it brings up a 3rd and 6 for Red Mountain as we wait to come back from the injury timeout. And, I mean, even though you're in your own territory with where the game is, it's 4-down territory here.
Oh, absolutely. This is it. They have to go down and score a touchdown if they're going to win this, have a chance to win this game. And then, the question becomes as well, if they were to score. That's a big if at this point. They got to go, 75 yards. But if they were, do you go for 2 to win the game?
Right. It may be something where you don't want to battle in overtime. Robinson able to get some assistance off to the Pinnacle sideline. He was favoring his right ankle and not really putting a lot of weight on it. Lopez out of the gun, trips formation to his right, Savoy to his left in the backfield. Play clock has not started up yet. And the anticipation now slows down a little bit on both sides. Everything's set and ready to go here.
I would think we'll see a moving pocket here.
Lopez takes the snap and stays in it. Now rolls out to his right and throws it to Bigler. Catches it just short of the sticks, and he's spotted out of bounds a couple yards shy.
It's close.
It's 4th and 2 is what it looks like. They need the 30 to pick up the first. 2:57 left. Fans on their feet on both sides of the stadium. Empty set for for Lopez as Savoy motions out to the right. 10 seconds left on the play clock for Lopez. Down to 3, and Lopez needs to get it off. He does with a second left. Quick pass, and he goes back to Bigler. Has enough for a first down. Huge conversion on the little comeback route.
They need to start getting some chunk plays here. 3 and 4 yards is not going to cut it at this rate, especially with only one timeout.
At that point, it's just a success to keep the drive alive.
Yeah.
Fresh set of downs.
They need to start looking downfield here and try to get some chunk plays.
Lopez goes over the middle to Heap. The seam route to Preston Heap down to the Pinnacle 35.
Just like that.
You called, they answered, partner.
And now some life in the sideline. It seemed a little quiet, and now they're in positive territory here with plenty of time to work. Under
2.5, but another first down. Lopez sprints out to the right, cuts back, and avoids a couple of Pinnacle defenders. A few spin moves. Lopez looking like a tornado going through the Pinnacle defense out there, and he gets across the 30.
Yeah, a little bit of a, I don't know why I can't think of the Looney Tunes character.
The Tasmanian Devil?
Tasmanian Devil, thank you.
I watch cartoons. I may be young, but I watched them.
I watched them when I was a kid on Saturday mornings.
2nd and 3 as Lopez got to the 29. Wagner in motion from right to left. He stops in the slot. Lopez has a lot of time, runs out of bounds into the Pinnacle sideline.
Yeah, plenty of time there, and a heads-up play, got out of bounds, got a few yards. And this is going to be very interesting here. 3rd and 2.
I think just about 3rd and 2 from the 28. They gave him a yard. It looked like he had Heap in the flat for a first down on that play, but the pressure got to him, forced him out of the pocket. Lopez out of the gun with Savoy on his right. Heap in the slot. Wagner all the way to the right side. Designed run, quarterback draw. Lopez out to the 25, and it's enough for a first down.
And the clock stops, so they're going to want to get up on the ball and run a play as soon as they blow it in.
That's a good play call from Brian McDaniel, the designed quarterback draw.
And again, a very quick trigger on who's ever running the clock, because it was running before they spotted it.
Now ticking under 1:10. Lopez gets the call and waits to take the snap. Not a real sense of urgency yet. Low snap handled. Lopez shot to the end zone. Caught! B-Dubs for the touchdown!
Now, do you go for 2 here? 1 minute to play. Or do you take the tie and hope that your defense can hold out and play for overtime?
Decision. A 25-yard touchdown reception.
They're going
to B-Dubs, and Kyle Enders, Brian McDaniel, and that Red Mountain sideline putting their season on the line.
And they're going to take their last time out and get their ducks in a row. But nothing more exciting than a 2-point conversion to take the lead.
We'll see if they continue with it, and they don't want to take this one to overtime. What an atmosphere, what an environment, what an electric game we have had. We felt like it was going to be close with these two teams meeting at midfield before the game, chirping back and forth, and it lived up to the expectation.
They have not disappointed. They have been evenly matched all the way, and it's been a back and forth battle, and I love that it's coming down to this play. Your best play from 3 yards out to put yourself in a position to advance. I can't wait to see it.
No matter what the call is, what the result is, you can't knock the play call and the coach's decision to go for 2 here.
No.
Your defense has been getting carved up a little bit towards the 4th quarter. Pinnacle has moved the ball. You have an opportunity to decide everything here and end it.
And you're the lower seed on the road. You've got nothing to lose. Let's let loose. Let's go win this thing right now.
The battle is set up in the trenches. Pinnacle's defensive front has gotten to Lopez a lot. This place is electric. The Red Mountain sideline asking for quietness.
You had one player trying to hype up the crowd, and the coach was going, no, shh.
Lopez in the gun. Savoy to his right, 3 wide receivers to the right, and a timeout taken by Pinnacle. They wanted to see the formation and get a look.
And it looked very much like the formation when Lopez ran in the score against Mountain View. I believe it was this first matchup a couple weeks ago.
Everything throughout the season between these two teams has come to this moment. You mentioned the lower seed, Red Mountain. They've gotten themselves out to a 5-6 record after a win last week in the playoffs, their first one in 5 weeks, and a 7-4 Pinnacle team with a lot to prove and a tough schedule, hosting at home. And the David in this battle has an opportunity to give the final blow to Goliath.
And just to frame it, there's still a minute to play with a very electric quarterback on that other sideline. So this is by no means over.
We've seen plenty of chunk plays from that Pinnacle offense in this game already. But if you convert this 2-point conversion, the life that breathes into your defense, to have them go out with a little bit extra.
Yeah, because then it just puts it on them and say, hey, just get the stop here. Well, let's see what they do here. I'm excited to see what play they have dialed up here.
You wonder if Lopez tries a hard count again. It's worked in this territory tonight. They set up under center right now. Wagner in as a fullback, and Savoy goes deep. Wagner shifts up. Lopez puts Wagner in motion to the left. Lopez takes the snap, a pitch to Savoy, the reverse to Wagner.
There's a flag on the play.
And Wagner jukes, goes for the end zone, he's in. There's a flag on the far side of the field, but Wagner got in.
I think, I'm not sure, but I think somebody might have moved early.
If it's movement early, it should have been blown dead if it's on the offense.
Yeah, I don't. You saw the flag go up right after the snap.
They call a false start against Red Mountain.
Why let it play out?
And now Kai Evans running down the sideline, and it looks like they're going to try the extra point and just put it to an opportunity to go to overtime.
I think at that point you have to, it's different when you're running a play from the 3, but now if you're running it from the 8, your chances of success drop down quite a bit.
And Bodie Wagner fought for everything to get in there. The extra point now backed up, and it's going to be a 25-yard kick for Kai Evans to be able to tie things up. The special teams of Pinnacle have already gotten it done with a punt block once tonight.
I'm going to tell you right now, I just watched the thing. There is no movement
early.
Good
snap, good hold, and Evans puts it through clutch. Go back and diagnose the replay. I didn't look at it with you. I wanted to see the extra point.
The only thing I can tell you is perhaps he's not on the line of scrimmage, but there's no early movement. I don't understand it. Unless they're saying that the receiver on the right side was not on the line and they had too many men in the backfield, it's a legal procedure. That could be the call. I can't tell from our angle. But there was no early movement. That's for sure.
It's hard to see, but I mean, to just dissect the run, it was a pitch to Savoy to the left, and then he flipped it back to B-Dubs on the reverse. B-Dubs was dead to rights in the backfield, put a defender on skates, and then battled through 2 tackles to get into the end zone.
Yeah, I don't know about the call. I would love to hear more about that.
Evans now kicks things off, and Pinnacle get the ball back with a minute.
That's a wide ball.
And Haney falls on it. It's kicked by Pinnacle, and Pinnacle able to fall on it. But that was designed from Kai Evans to put it into open space, and Logan Haney got down, had a chance on it, punched it, and then Pinnacle punched it to try and get it out of bounds, and they end up recovering it. as it was a late dive by McLean Richards to fall on it.
Oh my goodness, that could have been an amazing turnaround there. Like you said, a live ball and just not able to come up with it.
Red Mountain trying everything to end it in regulation. It puts Pinnacle deep inside their own 10 with 57 seconds to work with.
And again here, and they're going empty. They're going to try to go win this thing.
They still have 2 timeouts. All they need is a field goal. Horton goes underneath. Jamison Wade makes the tackle, but not until after a completion and a pickup of close to 10 to McLean Richards. Clock continues to wind as they were short of the sticks. Empty set, Horton continuing to drive quick. Out route, Mauder tackle, flag late. Back towards the line of scrimmage as Lucas Wilson was down, and on top of him, Travis Gutierrez.
I think he yanked him down.
Penalty goes against Pinnacle. So Gutierrez, the guilty party, and that killed a little bit of time to put the clock to 37 seconds.
Yeah, that's going to push him back 10. Costly penalty there.
Still an empty set for Horton. 2 wide receivers to his left, 3 to his right. Red Mountain drop deep back into coverage. They only bring 3. Horton over the middle of the field. He finds Richards, who gets out across the 30. Just the underneath route and the yards after catch from McLean Richards.
Pinnacle's taking a timeout here.
Again, all they need is a field goal. I really didn't get a good gauge on what kind of a leg they have in Cooper King in warm-ups.
He has been booting
the
it
extra
through
points,
the end zone.
Yeah, they may have to send someone to the parking lot to retrieve balls from the extra points he's been kicking. So it seems like he has the strength, but you just wonder how far it is. I mean, to put that gauge on it, Kai Evans for Red Mountain has hit from 46 on the year. Equidistant, probably.
I would say they probably need to get the ball to about the 30 to be able to make a field goal.
Pinnacle come out of the timeout, still with 15 seconds to spare on it. And now the officials blow the whistle to get Red Mountain back onto the field.
So they realistically need to get 40 more yards to get a field goal attempt. And now the thing is, too, you have to hold on to that timeout. So you really can't burn any more. Imagine they're going to work the sideline here.
Pinnacle out of the gun. They've been going underneath over the middle and working yards after the catch. This time, Horton has time in the pocket, takes a shot over the middle, almost intercepted by Logan Haney as he overthrew Jace Pena. And you heard the resounding "oh" from the entire crowd of Red Mountain as Haney almost had a chance to come up with an interception.
That ball had some mustard on it right there. That thing came in smoking hot, and yeah, that was going to be tough for anybody to catch.
Roll out this time from Horton from left to right. Mauder chasing him down. He throws it out of bounds, and Mauder able to push down Horton, and that's something that always scares me late in the game when the quarterback hit. Does it get called late? Is it a personal foul? Because then it's 15 extra, and Horton popped up after the hit and was yelling at the official.
You don't want to give the officials a chance to do something that could cost you the game. So you need to be smart and lay off on that. You know, I would imagine here, I mean, you have 11 seconds left. Are you going to take just deep shots?
And it's 3rd and 10. Red Mountain have 4 DBs set deep. Horton does take a deep shot down the sideline, and it's caught! Over the shoulder, brought in, and there's 3 seconds left, so maybe not a field goal, but a shot at a Hail Mary.
They're going to take their last timeout.
I think Pena came up with it on the far sideline
My goodness, that
what
was close.
What a pitch and catch.
The safety.
It was almost an interception, almost a tip pass, and then a reception. And that sets up Pinnacle with a chance for a Hail Mary ending.
I don't know how he came down with it. That was quite a grab. He looked like he didn't even see it.
I think it was actually Hughes out of the backfield. Yeah, it was the running back, Mason Hughes, who made the catch down the far sideline.
Look at that spacing right there.
Split between two Red Mountain defenders.
My goodness. And that's one of those situations where the safety was playing the man instead of the ball.
And now Pinnacle have the ball on the right hash at the 42-yard line with just 2 seconds remaining.
I mean, we've seen a hook and ladder already. Do you see a pass here? Why would you take it out of the hands of your...
Bodie Wagner.
They're going to kick a field goal here.
Bodie Wagner is all the way back to return this.
They're trying to kick a field goal. This would be
This is 59 yards.
Oh, my goodness.
A 59-yard attempt from Cooper King to send Pinnacle to the semifinals. You can't jump early if you're Red Mountain.
This has to be a fake.
You can't jump early.
There's no way they're going to line up to kick this.
Low snap. He gets it off, and Wagner will return it. Wagner goes to the near sideline, hangs on and goes down and just gets this thing to overtime. That kick didn't even come close. It made it to the 10-yard line.
I don't understand the thought process there.
I would rather take a Hail Mary with the arm of Wyatt Horton.
I don't understand that at all. Unless they had a fake on and thought better of it at the last second, I don't understand what you're trying to do there. I mean, there's NFL kickers who can't kick it from 59 yards.
Well, we go to overtime, partner. Our first overtime game of the season. We thought we may have had one in the ALA Queen Creek matchup earlier when they bested Red Mountain 17-14. And now it all comes down to the coin toss, right?
We should probably recap the rules here. Both teams going to get a possession. You get the ball from the 10-yard line. There's no first downs. You get 4 plays to score. And yes, it comes down to the coin toss, and it's advantageous to go on defense first because then you know what you have to get in order to equalize or to win. So if you hold the team to a field goal, you know you have to score a touchdown to win. And then it flips. So if it's even after one, the other team will get to go defense first. So very interesting. And I believe after 3 overtimes, you are not allowed to kick extra points anymore. You must go for 2 if it gets to that. And I can only remember one instance when I was coaching. We played Perry in 2019, and we went 5 overtimes.
Wow, that's got to be electric.
It was wild, and I was the play caller. I remember calling a going for 2 and an off tackle run, and we got stopped just about a foot short. And those things live with you, man. And then that same year, we lost in overtime in the state championship game to Liberty.
A track record.
Not a good one for me.
And one for you to bring out the rules and get it spread out to our audience so everyone knows what's going on. Both teams huddled up on their respective sidelines, getting their crowds to make some noise as we are knotted up at 21. And the clock has a minute left on it until these teams come out for the coin toss to take the field.
Yeah, and then when you talk about things being condensed, there's no deep shots.
No.
You are on the 10-yard line, and you have 4 plays to get in, and it's really the best parts of football, in my opinion, all wrapped up in one.
We've talked about it all season long, how much the field shrinks when you get inside the 20, inside the 10, and these teams are going to have to bring out their best to try and punch it in. We've seen success from both sides tonight as we find ourselves deadlocked at 21.
And, you know, we said these teams were evenly matched coming in. Of course they're going to go to overtime. We might be here for a while.
They're a mirror image of each other, it feels like.
Yeah. And I think, again, I'll go back to what I said in the opener. It's going to come down to the quarter. These quarterbacks are going to have to improv and make plays. And I think whichever one is able to be the most successful will lead their team to victory.
Both of them have the ability to scramble and escape and get things done. As Kyle Heap goes out along with Coach Enders, and on the same side of things, it's Wyatt Horton with his coach Dana Zupke.
And obviously, turnovers become even more important in this situation, because if you come out on offense and you turn it over, the other team gets the ball. They can just line up and kick a field goal and win the game.
Immediately.
Or if you've scored and the other team turns it over, it's game over.
Execution is the name of the game at this stage, right?
Yep. And I'm sure these guys, these coaches have practiced this. They've prepared it. You know, I remember on my call sheet, I always had a overtime section, you know, a 4-play sequence that you felt really good about to win the football game.
We've just found ourselves in a lot of moments this year, but this may be the height of it.
Yeah, it's exciting. And the way this has gone thus far, and, you know, I wouldn't expect anything else.
Here comes the coin toss. The flip hits the ground. And no signal, but everyone talks it over.
I think Red Mountain won and elected to defend first.
And then Pinnacle get to choose the side.
Yeah, so they're going to go in the left end zone as we're facing. And, yeah, 4 plays to score. So now the fans are on their feet, making as much noise as possible. And I would even say that the Red Mountain fans outnumber the Pinnacle fans tonight. Half of their bleachers is empty.
A sold-out crowd in the away bleachers here, and even lining the fence by the track are the Red Mountain fans. And it just, everything comes down to this, right? These kids have worked so hard for it. It's a moment that you kind of always dream of being in at the next level, but you get your stardom right here.
The biggest players make plays in the biggest moments. So
guys to highlight like that on the defensive side for Red Mountain. Jamison Wade has had a huge night. Champ Jennings, an amazing season. He's the 4th leading tackler in the state of Arizona. On the flip side for the offense of Pinnacle, Mason Hughes, 13 touchdowns on the ground, and McLean Richards, 682 yards and 3 through the air on the season.
And you don't necessarily have to be fancy. I mean, you can come out and run the ball 4 times and score a touchdown. So it's not how you get there, it's just that you get there.
Horton in the pistol. He snaps and keeps it, looks to pass, trying to escape pressure, and he's brought down for a sack. Mauder is in on the stop along with Wade.
And that is not a good start for Pinnacle.
That backs them up 6 as they have it at the 16.
Although you could argue it just gives him more room to operate.
And they go empty set this time around. 5 wide, 3 to the right, 2 to the left. Horton has time this time, throws the out route, and it's hauled in by Mason Hughes, who gets back close to the original line of scrimmage, maybe a gain of a couple.
And there's no, and we didn't mention this, but there's no clock. There is a play clock, but these are all untimed downs.
So they net positive a yard from the original line of scrimmage, and 3rd and 9 upcoming. The out route has been successful for Pinnacle tonight.
And they're staying with empty, and looked like there was some confusion on this half of the offensive formation. They were trying to get straightened out what they were going to do.
The field shrinks and Red Mountain take a timeout.
That's good use of the timeout there. You know, you would imagine they'd take the field goal here on 4th down to force Red Mountain to score a touchdown to win. So this is a big play here. If you hold them out here, they're going to attempt a field goal, I would imagine. So many variables now at this point in the game.
Variables, decisions, and we've seen aggression come out already with Kyle Enders go for 2 to take the lead with a minute left, and then the penalty came out, so you wonder on the flip side of things if Dana Zupke has faith in his offense and what area inside the 10 he'd have to get to want to go for it on 4th down.
Yeah.
Like if you get inside the 2-1, do you want to give it a chance?
To me, especially with the way your defense is played, you got to get points on the board. You can't just let Red Mountain line up and kick a field goal from the 10 to win it. Unless you feel super confident that you're going to get it. And then Red Mountain has stopped them on a 4th and 1 already earlier in the game. So this is a crucial down here, 3rd and 9.
Each team's top units retake the field, and it's empty set again for Pinnacle.
And what they're doing with empty is just creating space for their quarterback. It's hard for the defense to disguise what they're doing when they're in empty.
Horton rolls out to his right.
Looks like a hold.
Goes back across his body. It's tipped. A stop in the end zone made. There's a lockdown played. I think it's Jamison Wade.
Jamison Wade threw his hands up and batted that ball because there was a receiver open in the back of the end zone.
He was back there, but I believe you had it right first. Jennings gets up, and Champ Jennings was the one to tip the pass. I saw the same thing on the line that you did. When Horton was rolling away, Travis Gutierrez got all of Seth Barron, didn't let go. Field goal attempt upcoming from Pinnacle. 26 yards for Cooper King. Good snap, good hold, and King able to put it through, but now everything lies on the offense of Red Mountain. They could end it with a touchdown.
Yes.
The strength of their team all season long has been the defense, and they do their job in this scenario. They've only given up 274 points on the year, and that time they hold Pinnacle to 3.
So now you know you have to get a touchdown, well, or at least kick a field goal. So they're going to, you would imagine that they have 3 downs to score, and then you're going to kick the field goal to advance to another overtime on 4th down, I would imagine, unless it's 4th and very short.
Savoy and the Wildcat to start things off for Red Mountain. Lopez, the receiver on the far right side. Savoy with the carry over the middle, and he gets down to the 2. Zay Savoy running with intensity. And the sideline is humming for Red Mountain.
A chance to win it. And they're going to huddle.
30 left on the play clock. Lopez goes over to get the call. So they say Savoy's knee was down with the ball at the 4. They go Wildcat again. It worked first time. Savoy, right side, Savoy into the end zone!
Wait, are they signaling?
Touchdown Red Mountain! They upset Pinnacle on the road!
What a play. And I'm sure somebody has found Sanders and is letting him know.
The Cinderella story continues. They hadn't won a game in 5 weeks. They go back-to-back, and they knock off number 4 Pinnacle. The Apache Junction transfer. Zay Savoy, can he get it done in 6A? Yes, he can. He ices it with the touchdown in overtime. A 27-24 final.
My goodness. And they've just gotten back to 500.
What a game, what a season that Kyle Enders and his team has put together. The student section, the stands on the Red Mountain sideline have exploded, and you see the resounding joy on the field from Red Mountain. They have come in and done the unthinkable. Pinnacle had made the state championship just a season ago. We're battling to get back, and they get brought down by Red Mountain.
Brophy has come back and beat Castile 31-17. So
it's
we'll be heading to Brophy
next week on the road for Red Mountain. And that's something that they've wanted. They've had history against Brophy in the recent years. They've upset them a couple of times, and I believe even once in the playoffs they've knocked them off.
And according to the score on Max Preps, Highland has beaten Chandler in the Open playoff.
Upsets everywhere throughout the state of Arizona tonight. I don't think that I have the wherewithal to go to a break. I think we just need to go straight into the post game. And what an incredible finish. Our first overtime of the season. Red Mountain pull it out 27-24 final. Back and forth the whole way.
I can tell you right now that Brophy does not want to see these Mountain Lions because this is a team that's on a roll right now and they're playing well. And another team that we match up very similarly with going forward. So I can expect another game just like this next week.
We talk about it in every sport on every level. If your team hits the stride at the right time, you're in a good spot. Playoffs come, Red Mountain deliver. They take a victory here, and let's break down some players of the game. On the defensive side of the ball for Red Mountain, totaling close to 4 sacks, maybe 3.5 in the game, depending how they put it in the box score. Jamison Wade got it done.
Yes, he lived in the backfield all night, and a great job from him. And on the offensive side, I have to go with B-Dubs. He was the man on the scene. Just whenever they needed a big play, he seemed to make it. And what a game.
He was electric from the very start, and B-Dubs was in the game plan, getting catch after catch. He caught the big touchdown to get things knotted up from 25 yards out. I think that we can credit 2 offensive players, player of the game. I got to give it to the transfer. Zay Savoy has made an impact on this team since he was eligible in the week against Highland. He scores the game-winning touchdown and gets it done.
Yes.
I believe that he has just breathed life into this team offensively.
I would agree 100%. And the way he came out and the way he finished, he absolutely lights out. And I think you can build off that. And he is just a workhorse.
Simon Lopez getting hugs on the sideline, as well as a bunch of other I see Red Wing there too, but as Red Mountain players. And on the flip side, Pinnacle are getting worked out by their coach on the far side of the field. So unhappy with the result.
Losing in overtime and then doing your calisthenics.
It's not a fun look. And I believe, if I'm correct, this will be the last broadcast that we get of the season. We get audio opportunity, I'm just hearing, next week at Brophy. And just what a statement in this game from Red Mountain to win it. So a 27-24 victory in overtime. Zay Savoy ends it with the rushing touchdown from 3 yards out. For Chris Andriotis, I've been Zach Warhack. A Red Mountain win. They advance to the semifinals, 27-24. They take down Pinnacle. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone, and have a great weekend.
Happy Thanksgiving, guys.